What's up, Rig Pals? Today I'd like to issue an apology. An apology for taking a far longer break than I'd intended. And as sincere apologies require some measure of sensitivity, I hope you'll pardon me while I choose my words very carefully. Ryan Kelly here, your Square Esquire and lovable prig, giving all manner of writers, rewriters, and speakers tips and tidbits and the lexical tools of their trade, the better that they might be able to distinguish themselves as careful users of the language and take their communication skills from enough to effective. I release videos every other Thursday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a chance to learn the best ways with words. With that said, let's get underway. We'll begin with a clean and unqualified mea culpa, an admission of fault. But rest assured that in admitting my error, namely reneging on my previous promises of weekly videos, I won't be admitting to it. You see, while there's ample historical precedent for the preposition to appearing after the word admit, going back to at least the 19th century, it's still decidedly suboptimal compared with the simple verb unadorned. Wilson Follett, in his 1965 Modern American Usage, conjectures that the to of admit to came about from a mistaken analogy to confess to, which, according to Brian Garner's Dictionary of Legal Usage, is a more than permissible alternative to plain confess. In making that selection, you simply choose the one that sounds better. Not so regarding admit. Now I know what you're thinking. Brian, you've been MIA for 2 whole months. Don't you have any alibi to offer whatsoever? Nope, because contrary to popular belief, the word alibi does not mean excuse. It's actually a Latin loanword that literally means elsewhere. You've probably heard it in forensic context where the accused testifies that he or she couldn't have committed the crime because at the time of the alleged offense, he or she was elsewhere. That's a nifty nuance to pack into one tiny 5-letter word, and it should be preserved, not prostituted as some pretentious synonym for a word everybody already knows. Still, it is true that the word alibi, meaning excuse, is a venerable Americanism well over a century old, and it arguably covers a nuance that plain old excuse doesn't. It suggests a flimsy, specious, conspicuously convenient excuse. A dog ate my homework kind of excuse. So no, I don't have an alibi. What I do have is responsibility that I must assume. I didn't produce, and that's on me. I can't blame my dereliction on anything else. Actually, I blame myself for the dereliction. The construction blame X on Y, or to pick a random example, blame it on the alcohol, is indeed quite common and is attested by the OED as first appearing in 1835. Usage critics during the late 19th and early 20th centuries vituperated the construction as a gross vulgarism. Opinions softened somewhat during the mid-20th century, and the construction appreciated to the status of a colloquialism. And more recently, we find some critics declaring it to be standard. Nonetheless, you'd be hard-pressed to find the construction blame X on Y in professional writing or speech, so employ it at your own linguistic peril. Try simply blaming the alcohol and pinning it on the alcohol instead. Or better yet, drink responsibly in the first place. Now before you go and sin no more when it comes to these words and phrases we just discussed, I do want to seriously, soberly tell you that while it is regrettable that it's been so long since we've seen each other, it's far from regretful, because regretful is a word that can only apply to me or any other human being, not an impersonal noun. Glad to be back, and I'll see you next time. And remember, propriety is always in.